Welcome, everybody, to Bracket Bastards. This is the podcast. We take a bracket of 32, 64, 128 or more and banter our way down to a winner. I am your humble host, as always, Freddie Fisher, and this is... Oh,
Your favorite senator from the great state of bastardom, Bubbles, is in the house today, and I am so excited to be talking about some music. And this is
I am the bearded bastard, the wisest of them all, because these are my wisdom whiskers. And this would be.
I am the music god because I do music of all kinds across the spectrum. 3 million plus songs in my collection, over 100 genres. So ask me about anything.
and we have a very special guest this week. I've been trying to get him on for a couple of years now, but he's super busy. He is a local country singer to hear, but he has his sights set on even higher than that. His name is Adam Whitehead. Adam, how are you doing today there, sir?
What's going on, Freddie? Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Uh, if everybody out there get his chance to look up Adam when you're done with the show, because we actually want you to listen to the show as well, go out, check him out. His music it's better than local artists should be. And I say that with as much humility as I can say, because I can't sing worse shit. Although my shower does have amazing acoustics. So, but speaking of Adam, by the way, and the music god CJ playing, I'm glad we have a couple and Bubbles for people who are watching the show. Bubbles hat on there. We are actually talking about country music this week. Not only country music, but iconic country music. And I
I had to
brought
bust out the real tree for this one.
yeah. So did I.
I also brought Everett today. Everett is joining us.
I brought on 32 different what I consider iconic country songs, and this is as somebody who grew up listening to country music in the car with my dad and everything else. This is going to be a really, really challenging show for me, and I hope a challenging show for everybody else. I would like to let you know when the audience did this between the the people who the two songs that ended up being in the finals, there was a one vote difference in the winner when we ended up getting this done. So keep that in mind. Before we get to going, though, we have a couple of lifelines. This week's panelists get a little help in all of this. I like to call them lifelines. Number one, blowing your load. Like always, we vote round robin style on this show. So if you're one of the first ones to go and don't want to be one of the first ones to go, you can blow your load. This means you're going last. If somebody else blows their load after you, you are no longer going last. You are going after them, and so on and so forth. And this is good to the end of the game. If you do happen to blow your load, you will hear this sound. After that one, that actually brings up to our second lifeline, that is steal a vote. You are allowed to steal one person's vote during the game as long as they have not voted yet and it's your turn. This is good up until the end of round 3. I will give you warning as well. Number 3, pass to partial. I'm a huge Bluey fan. If there's one time during the game that you do not want to vote for any reason whatsoever, you can give your vote to the Facebook audience over at our Facebook page, Bracket Bashers, the audience vote. This is a one-time thing as well, so use it wisely. Steal and pass are good up into the semifinals, but loads can be blown all the way to the end of the game. I start us off on this one as always, and up in the top corner, we have Dolly Parton. By the way, everybody on here, every artist only has one song, so you will never see the same artist twice on here. So
Good deal.
Dolly Parton comes in with 9 to 5, or Tim McGraw's "Don't Take the Girl."
Fuck off, Freddie. You're just
Fuck
straight
you,
from the
Freddie.
get-go? Like, are we really going to be playing dirty like this already?
I'm gonna warn you guys right now that's
I don't say,
not.
if you're getting upset at this one, you're going to have bigger
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you're
problems.
you're
getting
probably
upset at
going to
this
get a
one, there's gonna
fuck
be
you,
a
Freddie, on
lot
a bunch of
more.
them. Yeah. Yeah.
There's gonna
This
be a
one
lot
isn't
more.
even
It's gonna be
close.
really hard to do. I'm a dad. You guys know this. I have a tendency to vote along with the dads majority of the time. And "Don't Take the Girl" is it's a dad song. It's actually one of those songs that I would not mind being played as a father daughter song at when my only daughter gets married. I think it'd be a nice touch. 9 to 5 is a great song. I really enjoy doing it. As Bubbles would say, it's definitely a bop.
Yes.
However, the dad and me, I have got to go with "Don't Take the Girl" on this one. It gets my vote. Bubbles, speaking of the beautiful Bubbles herself, is it 9 to 5 or "Don't Take the Girl"?
Oh my God. Okay. So, like, 10 out of 10, every time I listen to Don't Take the Girl, my eyes water up at the very minimum. Like, it is always pulling on all those heartstrings. But then we've got the most amazing, spectacular human being to ever walk this planet, Dolly Parton herself. And so, you know what? Honestly, I'm going to have to go with her just because, specifically because she's a good human and in honor of my sister Andy and her partner Hollis, because they absolutely adore her as well. And I'm pretty sure they would probably come down or over. I guess I'm over from them. And take me out if I voted against her. So Dolly Parton 9 to 5 is my answer today.
Speaking of Bubbles getting popped, Bubbles,
Whoa.
that one's for you as always. Um,
Well, shit, I can't.
I popped her before the show
I
started,
was gonna
so
say that was kind of lame.
don't worry, Kevin. I
The
have a
most
second one for you later.
satisfying is the pop top root beers
Oh,
every time,
All right,
and cream soda.
Kevin starts us off. Doesn't start us off. Kevin gets this vote. Is it "Don't Take the Girl" or 9 to 5?
so I love both of these songs. And you're right, Bubbles. Don't Take the Girl has made me tear up a few times. But man, it's a little slow. I want to be in a happy mood, so I'm gonna go 9 to 5.
Gets a vote. CJ.
yeah, Tim McGraw's nice, but he ain't Dolly. Um, and speaking of songs, you mentioned this as a wedding song. Perfect wedding song for a dad. "Tough Little Boys" by Gary Allan.
Mm-hmm.
That
I agree
song.
with that too.
That's
One
the
of these
song that
days,
makes me bawl like a
in
makes me
fact, I need
bawl
to
like a bitch. Man, this is that fucking ending where he talks about going into the room and sitting on the bed. It's just like, you bitch, Gary.
Freddie, I'm with you, man. I gotta be with the Tim McGraw tune. That was one that I actually I used to play a little bit at the bars, at the honky tonks, and just a good feel good song. And I agree, it is a dad song, you know, and it would go good at a wedding, you know, go well, you know, several different ways. So I got to throw my hat in there too, buddy.
9 to 5 with that does move on to the next round. I did, however, as you guys can tell, I was just writing something down. I have a bucket right here of different show notes and stuff like that. So when we're doing this show, I can make sure to write something down real quick and throw it in the bucket. So when we start we're doing stuff for next year, I can start filling out the calendar with those. So father daughter dance songs did go into the bucket off of that one as we're going. Feel free. So by the way, everybody on the panel, if you happen to have a suggestion for a show, let me know because I have the ability to write shit down and just throw it in the bucket. Bubbles starts us off on this one. Is it Charlie Pride with "Kiss an Angel Good Morning" or Carrie Underwood's "Before He Cheats"?
I fucking love Carrie Underwood too. I'm not familiar with the first one. Like, it's not coming to me, so I'm gonna have to go with Carrie Underwood because immediately.
It's an angel, good morning.
Actually, I was about to ask Adam if he could do a quick line from that real quick.
I don't
Put
even.
him on the spot.
I tell you what, I don't even know the words to that song, so you know which one I'm going to be voting for at the end. So
Oh, and
I'm the only one
Adam,
that
can you
knows the
please say
Charlie
honky
Pride
tonk for
song.
me again?
what's that?
Can you say honky tonk for me again?
Uh, Honky tonk.
Yes. Oh my god,
Yeah.
you with that accent. I love it.
Oh no, I was actually raised mostly in Iowa. Mostly in Iowa.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We don't have an accent in Iowa. What are you talking about?
Not much. We get, when guys like us go down to Nashville, we get people to say that. And it's like, really? I thought we were the most pure form of English that there was, but I don't know. Maybe not.
Either way, before he cheats, gets a vote off of that one, Kevin. Before he cheats or kiss an angel, good morning.
It's before he cheats. That's one of my guilty pleasure car karaoke songs that I'll crank it up and just sing as loud as I freaking can.
It gets another vote. CJ, kiss an angel, good morning before he cheats.
I said I'm going to revert back to my grandpa's kitchen, the old AM radio station playing Kenny Rogers, Ronnie Millsap, Charlie Pride, all that kind of stuff. So Charlie Pride.
Gets a vote. Adam.
You know where I'm at. Carrie Underwood.
I am sad to hear that. I'm going to go with Kiss an Angel, good morning on this one. It is the definition of iconic country, but Charlie Pride, by the way, for everybody out there who doesn't know this and is in the entire boat of Darius Rucker and the guy from Big and Rich being the first real black country singer. Charlie Pride was actually the first black country singer a long ass fucking time ago, before it was socially acceptable.
Say Charlie Pride was the first African American #1 song in country music.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So Kiss an Angel, good morning gets my vote. But before he cheats,
wasn't the first African American country singer in Nashville, just the first #1.
Yeah, the first one to hit it like really big.
That's the first one to get like mainstream success. And that was because Johnny Cash and Waylon both went to bat for him.
Well, he deserved it. Kevin starts us off. Kevin, Ain't Woman Enough to Take My Man by Loretta Lynn, or Should Have Been a Cowboy by Toby Keith?
Ain't Woman Enough to Take My Man. Loretta Lynn.
Gets a vote. CJ.
Yep. First concert I ever went to, Randy Travis with Loretta Lynn opening up, and that was one of the first songs she sang. Got to go with Loretta Lynn.
Adam.
Should Have Been a Cowboy. I play that at every show.
It gets Adam's vote. It also gets my vote as well. I grew up on Toby Keith. I like Loretta Lynn, I really do. But as far as trying to narrow down Toby Keith's most iconic song, by the way, is really difficult. Was really difficult for me. So I'm gonna make it to a tie-breaking decision. Coming to Bubbles. Bubbles, is it Toby Keith Should Have Been a Cowboy, or Loretta Lynn's Ain't Woman Enough to Take My Man?
I love being tied up on a Sunday.
Don't make me choke up my M&Ms.
Really, it takes you something that small there, CJ?
Doesn't want to have a mouth full of them.
I also like Loretta Lynn, but I really love the Should Have Been a Cowboy song. I feel like it's just fun. It's fun to groove to. Yeah, so that's mine.
And yeah, it does take something that small. I'm not accustomed to having anything in my mouth.
Do better, CJ.
I mean, we don't openly kink shame on their show. There, CJ. So there's that. Speaking of CJ, he starts us off after Toby Keith moves on 3-2 to the next round. CJ, is it Gunpowder and Lead by Miranda Lambert, or He Stopped Loving Her Today by George Jones?
Oh man.
Oh.
Yeah, it's come on, man. It's second greatest country song of all time. Stop loving her today. That twang, perfect. That's a perfect country twang, man. That he stopped loving her today.
Yeah.
Gets a vote, Adam.
I'm going to be on board with that. He recorded that as a one take, and Tammy Wynette was in the studio along with him, and I think that's another thing that just made that song pop. Made it one of the greatest songs of all time because it came from the heart. She was right there. They were tied up in all sorts of issues and everything. He loved her from the day he saw her. So, yeah, I'm going to go with that song as well.
I'm agree with you guys on this one. The opening lyric to this song is he said that he said he'll love her till he dies, and that one opening
Yeah.
solo is so tearful. Realistically, you don't even need to hear the rest of the song off that one because you know exactly what road you're going to go on. This is one of the most the the saddest country songs that I can really think of, and I'm not a fan of sad country songs because it's kind of a moniker of what country music is in a bad way. But this is one of the exceptions to the rule that I'm going to go off of. So Stop Loving Her Today gets my vote. Bubbles, Gunpowder and Lead, or Stop Loving Her Today.
Oh my god. Well, I don't. I'm not out here looking to cry. Okay, like I do enough of that on my own time. I hurt my feelings enough. Um, it is absolutely a very beautiful song. It is one you can feel it. And I think that's what I absolutely love about that song is the feeling behind it. Gunpowder and Lead, however, is a little bit more upbeat, a little bit more fun. And like I said, I'm not out here to make myself cry with a song today. So I'm going with Gunpowder and Lead.
Get to vote. Kevin, finish us up.
I'm gonna give that a nope and go with and go with She Stopped Loving Her Today.
Moving forward, I am going to do everything I can to prevent sweeps. So,
Oh,
yeah.
you're going with my method.
No
Say,
pearl
say,
necklaces for you. You are all
say,
display.
the only country song that's more perfect than He Stopped Loving Her Today is You Never Even Called Me By My Name.
Which is not on this list, by the
I know.
way. Just letting you
I,
know.
I just had to bring it
Adam,
up.
Let's do it.
this is going to be a good one for you, especially being a little bit more of a party guy.
All right.
Is it Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
or Devil Went Down to Georgia by Charlie Daniels Band?
Oh,
Oh, hands down, hands down. Anything
fuck!
Johnny Cash, "Ring of Fire." That's another song that we have in our sets and played at just about every show. On top of that, I got to see for the first time I Walked the Line a couple years ago, and I was just hooked after that. I knew he was a legend, but that movie in itself just solidified it. So, "Ring of Fire."
Ring of Fire gets a vote. I'm going to go the opposite way with Devil Went Down to Georgia. This is one of the few songs on the country music radio that I can ever think of somebody vehemently saying the actual words to it and not the radio version of the words to it, yelling at the car because they can. And I've got to see Devil Went Down to Georgia and Charlie Daniels live at the I think it was the Mississippi Valley Fair about
Nice.
well before he died, so uh, probably 15 years ago. And it's a song that he didn't want to do for the longest time because it got so much play, but then he just kind of fell in love with it again. So Devil Went Down to Georgia gets my vote again. If you guys ever get to hear it, there is a bagpipe and electric violin version of the song, and it is just great fun. Bubbles, Devil Went Down to Georgia, Ring of Fire.
First thing, I just got to go ahead and grab something for you real quick, Freddie.
Oh, you know what? I got one of those over here too.
You gotta, you, you, you gotta,
Oh,
you gotta get it out of the bag like this.
oh, you pulled it out of the bag.
This one's
Hey.
sponsored.
Gotta dig
Oh
deep for it.
um, um, oh my gosh, I do. I love both of these songs, and oh my
You
god,
you still have you still have your lifelines.
I know, but I don't know if I want to use them yet. Is the problem because we haven't even made it through the first fucking half here, Freddie.
I know this is only
Oh,
number 5. I told you when this started that like people getting all mad about Dolly Parton and Don't Take the Girl. Uh, like these are not easy.
I was gonna say, I got a feeling some of these are gonna get like
you know what? I am gonna go with Devil in Georgia, down in Georgia, specifically because I happen to like string music quite a bit. I love listening to violins and the bass and just all of that. So that is the pinpoint reason as to what made that decision.
Devil went down to Georgia, gets a vote off of that one. Kevin, Ring of Fire, Devil went down to Georgia.
I I don't know. I really don't. I've been sitting here trying to decide the whole time. Can I use a lifeline? The audience vote.
You can't. Kevin can pass the parcel on this one. This is off the board. Between Devil went down to Georgia and Ring of Fire, and a vote of 48. By the way, these votes, if everybody knows, these votes are, they go throughout the entire thing. They keep adding up, which means um, it ended up being 48-6 on the side of Ring of Fire on this one.
Damn.
Wow.
So, but Ring of Fire, since it moved on, kept adding more and more votes. It actually ended up being 11-6 in the first round. That's how that ended up going on. That's why I reached for the piece of paper. So Johnny Cash, it's Ring of Fire versus Devil Went Down to Georgia. It is a tie breaking decision coming down to the music god himself. This is it's a tough one there, sir.
CJ and Bubbles are tied up today. Sounds
Do
like a
what?
great day.
Uh, um, I love Johnny Cash, but I'm like you. I've seen Charlie so many times live, and as good as he was on record, it was not a tenth of what he could do live. Uh, he was built for that stage. So, and uh, Devil Went Down to Georgia is the only country song that I know all of the words to from beginning to end without having to look for them. So it's Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Knocking out this the contender with the second most votes in this entire thing, Devil Went Down to Georgia, moves on 3-2 in a split vote to the next round. I start this one off. It is either Better Man by Clint Black or Family Tradition by Hank Williams Jr. I'm going with Family Tradition on this one because it kind of describes literally my family. And Family Tradition, it's a party song. And Adam can contest to this because he plays live crafts. It's the type of song that there's there's callbacks in this song where which is Hank, why do you smoke? Or yeah, sorry, no, it goes Hank, why do you drink? Crowd goes to get drunk. Why
Hmm.
do you smoke? To get stoned, and so on
Yep.
and so forth. And it's a party song. I love party songs. Better
You
Man is a good song. I wouldn't consider it Clint
that you
Black's best song,
know.
but it is his most iconic song. Family Tradition, hands down, gets my vote. Bubbles,
Takes my
Family Tradition, or Better Man.
Mine is also going to be family tradition.
Kevin
Oh, family tradition.
yeah.
gets another one. CJ,
Same here. Country music singers have always been a friend of mine.
Hold on a second.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
switching my
It's,
vote.
country music singers have always been
I'm just
so
kidding.
close.
I'm just kidding.
Do I have that right?
there's still a possibility. I mean, um, Adam might go for Clint Black. You never know. Adam, is
No,
it Better Man or Family Tradition?
I was like, hell no. Why are you going for Clint?
Yeah.
all for family tradition. Great song, iconic song.
Yeah. So I've yet to ever be at a wedding or any kind of thing when that song come on where it didn't immediately like fill the dance floor. Like,
Yep,
people that sit all night long hear that song and you know,
yep.
it's like even my auntie in a wheelchair at my dad's wedding, she sat there all night long, didn't move. And when that song come on, she wheeled her big ass out of that floor in that wheelchair down.
I thought you were about to tell us the hand of God touched her and she
No,
stood and rose from that wheelchair just to go dance to that song.
no, my aunt Nancy didn't. She didn't move much. Like once she got in that wheelchair, man, she kind of gave up. But Hank Jr., that was her man. Right? I'd be about the only thing to get her out of that there is she'd fight you over Hank Jr., you know. And
And our first and probably only sweep in this entire thing, especially looking at the board here. Um, family, family tradition. I wrote Family Man because I planned this for some reason. Family tradition moves on 5-0 to the next round. Bubbles. Is it Willie Nelson's Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain or Kenny Chesney, She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy? Two completely different opposite songs.
Yeah, they are. Okay, so interesting enough, I have drank wine made by Willie Nelson. It was not bad, but it was a red wine, and I just prefer white wines. Um, but she thinks my tractor is sexy. Absolutely. Okay, that song is so fun. It is such a bop. Absolutely. That just makes me want to go and climb up on a tractor, even though I am aware that I have no idea what I'm doing, but I just want to be up there. Like, it does not matter if it's running or not. I love it.
Hey, with that cowboy hat you had on too, perfect.
And then I will ride it into the sunset.
I wasn't going to comment on any of that. Kevin,
Hmm.
is it Tractor Sexy or Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain?
It's tractor sexy.
Gets a vote. This is not going to be a sweep, by the way. I'm just letting you know. CJ, Blue Eyes or Tractor Sexy?
yeah, it's sorry, I can't vote for Kenny Chesney because I have my he married Renee Zellweger, and I have my own like personal reasons for hating Renee. So by proxy of that, Kenny cannot get my vote. So it's Willie Nelson, and I mean it'd be Willie Nelson anyways, but doubly so because of Renee. So
Gets a vote, Adam.
Kenny Chesney all the way. I had that record when I was younger, and I would spin the crap out of that. Just great song. A great karaoke song too.
Yeah,
Might
it's a great
might I add.
karaoke song. However, I'm going to go for Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, and I'm surprised that um, it didn't win this one. Let me write this down real quick before I go on my rant. We said before about "Stop Loving Her Today" is one of the saddest country songs out there. "Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain" is probably one of those other songs out there that would give it contention on the most saddest country song out there. It's a great storytelling song, and country music is known for
Whis-
storytelling
that
as
whiskey
well.
lullaby is another one.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I
That
almost put that
brutal.
one on there, but I almost put Whiskey Lullaby on there, but
Yeah,
there's a different Alison Krauss song that I wanted to put on, so
most
I put that one
most
on off
perfect
instead.
country voice.
Tractor Sexy moves on 3-2 to the next round. Last up in the first half of round one, Bubbles starts us off. Bubbles, is it Boot Scoot and Boogie? Oh, she's on the phone. So I'm gonna give Bubbles the audience vote because I can't skip her if she's not off the phone by the time I read this off. It's either Boot Scoot and Boogie by Brooks and Dunn or Friends in Little Places by Garth Brooks. And she's on the phone. So she gets the audience vote off of this one, and it is going to be
Friends in low places.
in a vote of 16-1. In the first round, Friends in Little Places end up going much farther on that one. Uh, in a vote of 16-1 in round one, Friends in Little Places gets the audience vote, gets Bubbles' vote off of that one. Kevin, is it Friends in Little Places or Boot Scoot and Boogie?
So while I love to car karaoke boot scoot and boogie or boot scoot and boogie, I will go with friends in low places.
Gets another one, TJ.
Yeah, it's not even close for me. It's that again that iconic country song fills the dance floors. It's a staple in every country singer's catalog, or if it's not, then I don't know what the hell they're doing playing honky tonks. I mean, it's friends in low places, man.
I was
I
gonna say
mean,
because what you just said describes both songs. So I don't
Right? I
know if
was
you're
sitting there,
talking.
I'm
I
like,
mean,
well, which one are
I'm
you?
like, which way you going?
I'm going to be honest. Like I've seen and worked with a ton of country singers that perform smaller things, and I've never really had one that did that Brooks and Dunn song, but they've all done Friends in Low Places. Like I'm not saying they don't do Brooks and Dunn, but they, um, you know, I mean, it's just Friends in Low Places is, you know, it's that iconic song, man. I mean, it's that, you know,
It gets a vote. Adam, is it French in Little Places or Boot Scoot and Boogie?
Friends in Low Places, and it has that third verse too that some people don't realize that it
yeah,
has.
the
Yeah,
concert
it's
version,
it's
yeah.
Yep.
the live only version, which it it mimics verse two so much.
yeah.
Um, there's a third verse. There's a Reba McEntire song that has a third verse to it too. Uh, I think it's for Fancy. Yeah, that not a lot of people know that there's a third verse to Fancy as well. When she really makes it big and everything else becomes a governor's wife and whatnot. But Friend in a Little Place is in our second sweep because Bubbles was not here to avoid it.
I was gonna say Friends in Low Places was gonna be my vote, anyways.
Well, either way, it's the second sweep, so it moves on to the next round. We'll be right back right after this break.
I also want to let you know I have a client that'll be coming in here a few minutes to get a notary done, so I'll be popping off for just shortly, but I'll be coming right back.
That's all right. We'll just go ahead and give it to the audience while you're gone.
Thank you.
Um, Before I became a podcaster, I never imagined that all these requests for 5-star reviews did anything important. I was very wrong about that. But being the bastards that we are, we're not just going to expect you to give up those 5 stars with nothing in return. But I'll trade you for it. You send us a letter or a question or anything else you deem necessary, along with those 5 stars, we'll not only give you a shout out, but we'll also read your submission live on air. We call this our Thank You to Review. If you want to be a part of the Thank You to Review, like Mr. Anderson on this one, it is bracket BRACKETTY2R at yahoo.com to get in. It also works if you want to be a guest on any of their shows on the ABC podcast channel. Um, do you know? Sorry, do you know what you and DX have in common? You both got me in trouble at school. DX was when I was in middle school. Now I'm a teacher and I teach critical thinking. I teach a critical thinking class, and some of you were used as an example of thinking out a problem. The censored versions, um, is thinking out a problem. The censored versions. My class found your show, by the way, and thank you for having it on Not for Kids on YouTube. The school blockers do flag it that way. Two of them listened to it at home, however, and thought it was funny. The other parents, we will call them Mr. and Mrs. Karen, did not, and it was an intriguing parent-teacher conference meeting. Signed, Mr. Anderson. Not my real name due to refraction. Shout out to all the wrestling fans. Of course, anybody who doesn't know, Mr. Anderson is also known as Mr. Kennedy. Is a previous wrestling person. I've got to meet him. He's a good guy. But the question was, if you could teach a high school based class, what would it be? And yes, it could be any. It could be any class, including brand new ones. I'm going to start with Bubbles because we were talking beforehand, and that Bubbles said she had a good one. So, Bubbles, what is your high school class that you wanted to teach?
It would be an all around basic life skills class. So anything from preparing your own taxes, how to write checks. I know that like in fifth grade, I might have like reviewed it, but it like as an adult, when I'm actually given a checkbook, I'm like, oh, well, I don't do anything with this. But how to get like stains out of clothing, how to prepare like a basic meal, how to follow directions for cooking and things like that. And um, basic safety things. So, like how to put out an oil fire. Um, so, I know that they have specific classes for all of those things, but usually the kids that are signing up for those are wanting to go into like a culinary thing, or they're wanting to go into mechanics or whatever. Whereas if you kind of had a class that did your basic at home everyday life, like, oh shit, my door fell off the hinges, how do I fix it? So that would be the class that I would like to teach.
Kevin.
So on that same general thing, but major life decision course, such as buying a house, how buying a house affects your credit, what all goes into buying a house, something of that nature. That's really all I could come up with.
CJ.
I would teach the history of music according to me. Um, you know, just a wide swath of the major figures in music, starting with the early 30s and moving forward, why they were important, how they influenced music, and, you know, the different changing genres throughout the years and how it affected pop culture, all that kind of stuff, you know. Things like why the Beatles were important, um, why like uh, Johnny Horton Battle of 1812 was an important song, why Johnny Cash and George Strait were important, why Metallica was important at the time, you know, bands that sort of changed the course of, or artists that changed the course of music as it went along.
So a modern music history course.
Yeah, but I mean, it wouldn't be just. It would be according to me, not like a
Yeah.
textbook class. It would just be. It'd be very interactive and very fun. I'd make it a lot of fun, and a lot of different tangents that a normal teacher or professor wouldn't. You know, like when you got into punk, I would point out that punk isn't just Green Day and Offspring. That you have bands like The Cure and Patti Smith and Joy Division that were offshoots of punk music, you know, that normal teacher wouldn't even go into that, because a lot of people don't think about, you know, new wave or um, alternative music like REM and U2 being essentially offshoots of what, um, you know, early Soul Asylum and Bob Mold and those guys did long before Nirvana came along. You know, you hear Nirvana get all the credit for grunge, but people forget grunge existed in Minneapolis 20 years before Nirvana came along. So um, nobody mentions the replacements. Everybody wants to mention Nirvana. Well, Nirvana doesn't exist without the replacements or even early Soul Asylum, you know. So
And Adam, if you could teach a high school class, what would you teach?
I'm kind of on board with Bubbles and bringing back the home ec, but giving it
yeah,
more of a buzz, more of a modern twist to it, like teaching teaching younger generation how to utilize insurance, like life insurance. You know, basics of being an entrepreneur. There's so many different things that we could pile into that class that we could make it into a course that would last a semester and be effective. So I think if they brought that class back, that next generation would be borderline unstoppable.
make it a year long course. Have the first semester be
Yep.
like the taxes, the cooking, life insurance, that kind of stuff. And
Yep.
then the second part be like the, you know, changing a tire, changing your oil, how to fix a door,
Yep.
uh,
How
more.
to apply for a job, how
Yeah,
to work with others, how to prepare for an interview.
that's what
I
I'm
think
saying. Like
it's
the
just,
first part, make it
yeah.
more mental stuff. Second part, have it be the more physical, you know, the hands-on stuff.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna jump off the entire mental comment on that one. I want a mental health class, but not your standard uh, mental health class where you're learning a whole bunch of book knowledge type stuff. I would teach kids how um, to recognize the symptoms of depression and recognize the symptoms of uh, uh, like all
Interaction.
uh, Alzheimer's and stuff like that, and just not only recognizing the symptoms but knowing how to combat it and knowing why these things happened and what you can do to get yourself out of the situation before the situation becomes too terribly bad. Breaking the stigma that therapy is a bad thing and only for people who have already gone through trauma. Therapy should be a stepping stone before you get to it. Allowing men in general, not uh, not trying to single out men, but uh, I know a lot of guys who don't do the entire mental health type thing because they refuse to ask for help, and trying to break the stigma that uh, as a guy you're not allowed to ask for help, you're not allowed to cry, you're not allowed to feel emotions, you're not allowed to do anything like that. So teaching, especially high school kids, because in high school you have resources that are right there. Like you can go talk to a counselor, you can go whatever. The stigma is still there, which needs to be broken. But once you get out of high school, there's not somebody looking over your shoulder when it comes to stuff. So I would want to teach kids on, and probably either freshman or sophomore to do this, because you don't want to do it in as a junior or a senior, because by then they have other stuff going on. And high school can be a bitch, so you don't want to deal with all that stuff. So I'm gonna go with the mental health lookout class type thing. Uh, Miss Pseudo name Mr. Anderson, wherever you are. Thank you for writing in. Again, if you want to be part of the Thank You To review, it is bracket BRACKETT at Y2R at yahoo.com to get in. It also works if you want to be a guest on any of the other podcast channels. CJ
Yes.
starts us off. Welcome back for the second half of round one. It looks like CJ starts us off. Is it The Gambler by Kenny Rogers or Chattahoochee by Alan Jackson?
Oh, you fucker. I love Alan. So much respect for him. But The Gambler that's one of my childhood songs, man. Um, you know, I had the Oak Ridge Boys Elvira cassette and the Kenny Rogers Gambler cassette. And those, we kept it in the bathroom so when we took showers we could listen to music. And um, those were the two. So yeah, you got to go with Kenny Rogers. On a warm summer's night, on a train bound for nowhere.
Gambler gets a vote off of that one. Adam.
That's got my vote too. Gambler. Kenny Rogers was an icon. It still is, and that song has been covered quite a bit, but nobody can sing it like him.
Yeah,
So
that's damn right.
I'm gonna do Bubbles' job on this one because she's not here to do it. I'm gonna break up the sweep and I'm gonna go with Chattahoochee. I do love um the song "The Gambler." I love the movies too, and they're they're better movies than people actually think they are.
And he was a good actor.
Chattahoochee,
Yeah.
Chattahoochee. I remember going to like the skating rink as a kid, which they don't even have those anymore. But the skating rink as a kid, and Chattahoochee was on the entire playlist that they were doing. Gambler, however, I remember ruining, because we played it so much, and I ended up scratching half of it. My dad's record, like a legitimate vinyl record, but from like back in the '70s type thing. He had one, and he still had it, and I ended up ruining it. I ended up getting him the same one on a CD later on, but it just wasn't the same. So I'm gonna go with Chattahoochee on this one just to break it up. Bubbles is not here right now. She's out doing something, which means her vote goes to the audience as well. And they are going to go in a vote of 9-6. Gambler gets that vote. Kevin, Chattahoochee or the Gambler?
Well, can, can you hear me?
I can hear you
Okay.
now. You started
I
talking and it went click.
because I forgot to click my actual headphones turned on. While Chattahoochee is a great song, I am a poker player. Play poker every Friday night. It's the Gambler.
4-1. Gambler moves on to the next round. Faces a 3-2. Adam starts us off. Adam, is it Country Roads by John Denver or Amarillo by Morning by George Strait?
Fuck you.
Come on, man. Uh,
You do have different lifelines as well, there, sir.
you know what? I want to see what the Facebook says, because I can't say like that. They're both great,
I know.
and they're both iconic, and they're both legendary. I can't say one or the other. I just can't.
In a Facebook audience vote in a split of 10-5, Amarillo by Morning gets that vote. Adam's Path to Parcel is off the board off of that one. I'm gonna go for Country Roads on this one. As far as iconicness and stuff that has crossed the world, even I'm on Echo somewhere. Um, there's a there's been multiple ads like uh, TV ads with country roads in it, and there's that one part of that song that you just can't help but sing. And I don't care if you're a country music fan or not. Country people who are not country music fans know what this song is and how it goes and everything else. Very few songs out there that have reached this level. Uh, Sweet Caroline is one of them too, because everybody does the entire bop 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 thing on it. Not a lot of people like the guy, but they know that song and everything else. This is another one of those. I'm gonna go with Country Roads. Bubbles is away from the board right now, and uh, as Adam found out earlier, the audience vote is going to go for Amarillo by Morning on this one. Kevin, is it Amarillo by Morning or Country Roads?
Amarillo by Morning.
Gets a vote and the win. CJ.
Yeah, it's you know Amarillo by Morning. Uh, Terry um, Terry Stafford sang it originally. Then George did it. Chris Ledoux did a version. Sleep at the Wheel did a version. You know, it's it's iconic.
Another 4-1 moves on to the next round. Faces a 3-2. Uh, I start this one off. It is either going to be Stand By Your Man by Tammy Wynette or Good Old Boys by Waylon Jennings. By the way, Good Old Boys is, of course, the theme song to Dukes of Hazzard. Um, I'm not a fan of Stand By Your Man. Like the storyline for the entire song, I'm not a huge fan of, and the song itself, I'm not a huge fan of. Good Old Boys is just it's exactly what it says. It's a song for a whole bunch of good old boys, and I absolutely love that. It gets my vote. Bubbles, Good Old Boys, or Stand By Your Man.
I'm gonna go with Good Old Boys as well.
Gets a vote. Kevin.
Well, I'm making my way the best way I know how. Sometimes that's just a little bit more than the law will allow.
Good Old Boys gets another vote off of that one. CJ.
In the words of Roscoe, it's got to be good old boys.
And Adam finishes up.
Good old boys, all the way.
5-0. More sweeps than I thought we are going to have. By the
Do
way,
I
the
need to
audience,
rectify this? Do I just need to come in here and start pulling them bastard moves?
the audience, by the way, did agree with you guys
Not
on
on
that
this
one. It
one.
ended up being a nine. Ironically enough, a vote of 9-5. Good old boys moves on off of that one. Next up, Bubbles starts us off. Bubbles, is it? Oh, by the way, when you were gone, I got thirsty and opened up my other can of pop, so I do apologize.
It's all right.
Bubbles, is it Goodbye Earl by the Chicks or Crazy by Patsy Cline?
Oh my. What?
I told you these are not easy.
I know.
I mean, it's still the first round, and there's 3 out of the 5 past the parcels are off the board.
Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm gonna go with Goodbye Earl. That song is fucking fun. It's wild. It's unhinged, and I am for it.
Gets a vote, Kevin.
Oh, crazy.
It's wild. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy out here.
CJ
Yeah, it's Betsy all the way. That's a queen of country, man.
gets another one. Adam
Chicks. Got to be the Chicks.
means it's a tie-breaking decision coming down to me. I am also going to, I'm not going to pass the parcel, but I'm going to go with the audience on this one. So I will be giving my past parcel to the audience anyway. I'm probably not going to end up using it. So I'm going to go with Crazy as well because it ended up being a vote of looks like 13-2 as far as the audience goes off of that one. So Crazy moves on 3-2 in a split vote. Kevin starts us off. Shania Twain, Man, I Feel Like a Woman, or Alabama's Mountain Music.
Man, I feel like a woman.
Gets a vote. CJ.
You see that mountain over there? Alabama, man. That's
It's
them are my boys. I got to meet them. Randy is so amazing, and yeah, that was another one of those songs up there with Kenny and Ronnie Millsap and those guys that I completely overplayed as a as a teenager.
I got to agree. Randy's a good dude. So Alabama.
Uh, I'm going to vote for my mom on this one. Um, the song Man, I Feel Like a Woman is a song that she misquotes all the time. And not on purpose. Like she knows the song. She I'm not saying she grew up with the song, but she was there when the song was done and famous and everything else. She also sings uh, the entire whoop. There it is. I have no idea how she does that, but she does.
Whoop! Who let the dogs out?
Yeah, okay, pretty much. So I'm gonna vote for my mom on this one. By the way, speaking of that, shout out to my dad because today being 427, and my dad helped me with this list. So this entire show is a shout out to my dad.
Nice.
Longtime country music fan. It is also his birthday today. So shout out to Papa Fisher. It's he's 62. Yeah, 62 today. So shout out to him on this one.
Happy birthday, Papa
yep.
Fisher.
He's 29 past tense.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
And that brings it to Bubbles. Bubbles tie breaking decision. Do you want to know who's facing in the next round?
Of course, I want to know.
It is either Mountain Music by Alabama with 2 or Man, I Feel Like a Woman by Shania Twain with 2. Will be facing Charlie Daniels' Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Oh, okay. Okay, so short story. I was getting the toddler. I say toddler. She's 7. I get the 7-year-old ready the other day, and I put her in this new dress that I got her. She stands there and she does one of these little twirl things, and she goes, "Man, I feel like a woman." So I have to go with that song because it was the cutest little thing, and I'm sitting there and I just like I could not laugh. And she was like, "Why are you laughing at me?" I was like, "It was just so cute. It made my heart happy." But like, oh,
All right. Shania Twain moves on
Bubbles
3 to
is
2 to the
just
next round. CJ starts us off. CJ, is it Nothing at All by Alison Krauss or Mama Try by Merle Haggard?
God damn it.
God left the chat in here a long time ago. It's all right.
All right.
he saw me
I love
coming. He said
Merle.
I need to step
Mad
out.
respect to Merle, and I would have probably any other person I would have voted for him, but Allison is like that is like the most perfect songbird voice in country, and one of the nicest women you will ever meet. So I got to go with Allison, man, because um, that woman knows. She's just, it's so instinctive. She knows exactly how to sing a song. She never undersings, she never oversins. She's always just perfectly where she needs to be within the song, man. Like,
For everybody else out there too, we might end up doing this same topic again because there are so many songs, so many artists in
yeah.
general that were left off of this one. I'm thinking of like, for instance, Leanne Womack popped in my head when I was thinking about Alison Krauss too, and the song "I Hope You Dance" would be on this one as well. There's a whole bunch of other artists
Kathy
as well
Mattea,
that we're just
18
absolutely
Wheels and a
missing
Dozen Roses.
on this list. So we may, because we're booked out topic wise to the end of next year. So I'm gonna write it down on a piece of paper. I need post-it notes down here. I swear to God. Uh, but I will write it down on a piece of paper and throw it in my handy dandy Deadpool head, and we'll do it
You should
sometime
really do
next
one,
year.
man. Do it with just female country singers because then it makes it more challenging.
Definitely.
I
Because then
think
you
we
got
should
to,
do like a gender one, like all female, all male.
yeah, because then you got to really reach for the females, man. You got to get in there and get like,
Next next time International Women's Day ends up on a Sunday, we'll do it the week before that.
all right.
That way it comes out on that actual day. So that works. Anyway, Adam, is it Mama Tried or nothing at all?
So my answer is going to be a little bit more drawn out. Now, when I think of when you say nothing at all, that's a Keith Whitley song
Mm-hmm.
that Alison Krauss took to another level. You know, just when she sang that song, it was amazing. And the thing is, so I did a song with Keith Whitley's son Jesse, and that made me even more acquainted with the song. And then when I heard Alison Krauss, it's like, wow, that's on another level. So I have to say, even though Mama Tried is iconic,
Yeah.
my daddy loved Merle Haggard so much. I'm still gonna have to go with Alison Krauss when you say nothing at all.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to write that down before I forget about it. I'm running out of pieces of paper. Nothing at all gets another one. I'm gonna go with Mama Tried. As far as iconicness goes, don't get me wrong. Nothing at all is a better song.
You need to be like me and just keep.
I like. I have post-it notes down here. I got stuck.
Dude, I, because of my brain injury, I write everything down. So I've got like piles of like postcards because like I literally I have no short term memory. So I'll forget if I don't like write it down and have it laying in front of me.
I bought 2 packs of special
Like I got like
post-it notes,
whole fucking piles of them.
and these are. It's on the wrong side. Nope.
I just text my thoughts out to random people. Like I'm
These
like,
are
I just have to say this or I'm gonna forget it, or I'll call somebody, especially if I'm like way too high. Like
these are clear post-it
those are
notes,
really cool.
That's cool.
and they're made so you can write like your dry erase markers on them and reuse them.
Oh, that's cool.
The only problem is that I don't want to just write on them and fold them up and throw them in the bucket for next year because then I can't reuse them. So realistically, for me,
Makes sense.
there's actually the only thing I could do is kind of have a separate piece of paper here to write notes on, and then I could transfer it later on to be perfectly fine. Anyway,
You could always get
my
note
vote.
cards.
I know my vote goes to Mama Tried on this one because even though Nothing at All is a better song in general, it generally it sang better. She's a much better voice and everything else. Iconic stature for iconic stature. Mama Tried is levels above Nothing at All. Nothing at All also came out at a time where there was iconic hit after iconic hit after iconic hit. So it also got left in the dust of other songs, which is gonna hurt it. So I'm gonna go with Mama Tried on this one. It gets my vote. Bubbles, Mama Tried or Nothing at All.
I'm gonna go with Mama Tried as well. This one, I don't feel like I have much of a horse in this race.
Which means it is a tie-breaking decision coming down to Kevin. Kevin, you want to know who's facing in the next round?
Nah.
Kevin. I'm disappointed.
And don't forget, too, you also have the option to only you know who is facing in the next round.
Can you just only bubbles and send it?
I I can if I remember how to do this.
I was going to say, I'm just kidding. You don't have to send
Hold
it
on,
to
hold on.
me.
Uh, did anybody else hear that besides Bubbles? All right, Bubbles, did you hear that?
I did.
Okay, so on the app that we have for the streaming service, we have the ability to walkie-talkie one another, so I can talk to any of you during the show, and only you to point this out. So it is a possibility. I think you were not on the show when we first discovered that, and actually, Kevin told me about it after the show, but we have used it since then because uh, Q wanted to be an asshole one day and just say that, hey, could you tell only me?
Right. Because I remember we were talking about the only one
Yeah.
person's.
So we have the ability now. So there
That's
is that.
Can the audience still hear us with the walkie talkie and just
No,
our panel? No,
nope,
nobody. It's just me and you.
no. But the audience, as far as the audience goes, this tournament is the same tournament that has been going on through Facebook all week. So if you're paying attention to the tournament and what went on and everything else, and pretty much we've been voting with the audience for the entire time. You'll know who is facing regardless, but you guys don't because hopefully you guys don't have the information right next to you. Kevin, tie breaking decision: is it Mama Tried or Nothing at All?
I'm sorry, I was saying nothing at all.
Oh
Oh,
shit!
I was like, are we still on walkie talkie? Like, is this.
It's an audio podcast, sir.
And they will get the pause as well.
I know. Just for that, I'm gonna edit that shit out. Nah. All right, all right, Adam, it's on you. You start this one off. Is it the Judge with "Mama He's Crazy" or Randy Travis "Deeper Than the Holler"?
Oh, Deeper Than the Holler. Randy Travis, I tell you what, one of the most iconic voices. Crazy part is they released a single with his voice via AI, and it sounded just like him, just
Mm.
amazing. But referring back to that song, "Deeper Than the Holler" is just it's a fun song to sing too. You know, nobody can really, very few people can go as low as Randy can, and nobody can sing that song as Randy can. So
Gets a vote from me as well because like I'm not a huge fan of the Judge even to start with. The song itself, even taking the aspect of the Judge out of it, Deeper Than the Holler is still so much better. And I enjoy just kind of riffing off of Deeper in the Holler anyway, and I can't sing a shit. So, um, Deeper in the Holler is for people who can't sing and people who can sing. So I'm not trying to single anybody out on this one. Gets my vote. Bubbles, Deeper in the Holler, Mama, He's Crazy.
I'm gonna also have to go with Deeper Than the Holler. But I love how, like, as soon as you said that, there was absolutely zero question
Yeah.
in Adam's mind. He was like, fuck everything else. This is the answer.
Almost verbatim what I was thinking. Yeah.
Kevin,
I love going deeper than the holler.
I'm not touching that one at all. CJ,
Yeah,
No,
it's
Chris Kevin already touched it.
as I stated earlier. First concert I attended was Randy Travis, Tammy Wynette, and or Loretta Lynn. I'm sorry, and my friend's band got to open for the two of them at Randy still out there, still touring. Got James Dupre, who is basically doing his songs. Randy's kind of just there, and um, the his voice may be gone, but the spirit of the man is still as strong as ever. And um, one of the funniest men. Um, I'll never forget that night. He just cracking jokes the whole night of it's like backstage they had sushi, and he's like, where I come from, we had a different name for it. We called it bait. It's just, it's just great memories, man. Randy was always great memories.
Deeper in the Holler gets a vote and the win. It is a sweep moving on to the next round. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 sweeps so
Glad to
far.
see that it's spring and we're out here just sweeping shit away.
There you go. I was waiting for you to not touch your mic because I got to edit all
Finish
this shit
touching
out.
my bike.
Yeah, it makes everything real crispy.
Like a bag of chips.
Yes.
Makes me want
Better
a
to be,
hot dog real bad.
I was going to say, better to be crispy than crusty.
That is true.
Oh,
Like, if you
I
think
mean,
about it, like, if you're like, I would much rather like crispy bread because that tells me it's toast than like crusty bread.
toast.
I was going to say, not exactly where I was going with it, but
no. And again, I'm
That's
not
not
touching it.
it. I know,
I,
but look at me
however,
over
I
here
will be
just bringing it
finishing
back
out
to
the first half of
de-rigging.
round 1, and
He's like, we're moving on. We're
we're moving
moving
on
on.
from that one.
and
I finished this one out. It is either going to be Reba McEntire and Fancy or Chris Stapleton and Tennessee Whiskey. Now, I say this for last because I had the hardest time. As I said before, there's only one song per artist on this entire thing. If we did multiple songs per artist on this thing, I could have a top 500 list, and this would be a 2-month long process. Now, if somebody on some other show wants to do that and invite me, I have no problem showing up to it. But we don't have that luxury on this show. So I had to figure out the number one song in my mind for Reba McEntire, and that is, of course, Fancy for me. Close second, by the way, is the entire Georgia song. Can't really name of it now, but with a entire Hung a Man in Georgia one. Tennessee Whiskey, however, is one of the most beautiful modern day country songs that I can think of. It's a modern day classic, and I don't think it gives the credit that is due. I love Reba McEntire. I love the song Fancy. I'm gonna go with Tennessee Whiskey on this one. And I'm stealing a vote. It's a first round. I'm aware of that. I normally don't steal somebody else's vote in the first round. Uh, get that off the board. I'm going to be stealing CJ's vote off of this one because I think CJ is an automatic for Reba on this one, and we're both going to be going for Tennessee whiskey.
You
Bubbles.
you would be wrong, sir.
Damn it! I usually am. That's the sad part.
See,
Uh,
you could have stole Bubbles' vote because I'm just voting for Reba because I feel like she deserves a vote.
uh,
I
Kevin,
had a feeling that Tennessee whiskey feels like it's going to be the winner because it's
I
overall
I
a
doubt that.
really.
If I thought Tennessee whiskey was going to win, I wouldn't have stolen somebody's vote.
I don't
Reba's
know.
a hard beat.
She is a heartbeat, but then
Reba's a really hard beat. But Fancy gets Bubbles' vote. Kevin, is it Tennessee whiskey or Fancy?
So Fancy is about taking a underage teen and turning her into a prostitute. It's absolutely horrible. I will be definitely going with Fancy. It's just a better song. So
All right, CJ, I stole your vote, but
Yeah,
so it's officially going to go for Tennessee whiskey. But what would have your vote gone for
yeah.
either way?
It's a David Allen Co cover that Chris just made tons better. I mean, David did a great version, but David is David. I mean, far from the perfect country voice. I guess that's what makes him great is, his voice has got that worn, rugged sound that you expect from his life. But yeah, it's Tennessee whiskey. I mean, Chris is, he's iconic, man. Like I laughed when he blew up because everybody was like Chris Stapleton, and I'm like, fuck you guys, Ben. Like
You're like,
he's
no
been in the
shit.
steel drivers for like 15 years doing the same exact thing, and you completely ignored him because it was bluegrass, and now that he's doing country, you want to like pay attention to the man. But he's been around for like 2 decades doing the exact same thing. So
So it is a tie-breaking decision coming down to Adam. Adam, you have the ability to know who is facing in the next round. Do you want this option?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Nobody else in here likes tea parties. Nobody wants to know it. How do you guys
Again, you
live
have the
like?
option of only you knowing this too, which is kind
I
of a
mean,
bastard
it
move.
doesn't matter, truthfully. Like,
I mean, it
You're
might.
right. It doesn't matter, but the curiosity is still
Yeah.
there, and it would be killing me. I would be the cat to use all
It
nine
it
lives.
does. I'm gonna challenge CJ on this. It does matter because if you like the other one more, if whoever's facing, if you like them more than you like either of these two songs, you're gonna want whoever you think has a lesser chance of beating that song because you want the other song to move on. So there's some strategy in this one. Either way, Adam, is it Fancy or Tennessee whiskey?
So it took me longer in life to say that I enjoyed a good cup of coffee than it did to say Fancy is probably an iconic country song. So I'm going to say Fancy on this one. Took me a while to actually like it because I just didn't like Reba McEntire. Didn't like any of her stuff. Couldn't have listened to her album all the way through, but that song is good. So
So I had the option to steal four different people, and I chose the wrong one out of four of them.
if you must choose wisely.
And I did not. Fancy moves on 3-2 to the next round.
young
First
power.
round is done. We'll be right back right after this break. Um, I have the ability to come across a lot of really cool people as far as this show goes, and we're going to talk to a couple of them right now. Number one is CJ. CJ was on last week, but CJ is always a good get to get. How you doing there, sir?
I
Tell
am
us about
awesome,
yourself.
man. Just enjoying life, pushing through these classes, writing 2 books, doing 2 podcasts, being the consummate smartass that I am. So,
The other one, of course, is my person I've been trying to get on the show for a long ass time. Let's see if we can get him back again for another future show, and that is Adam Whitehead. Adam Whitehead, please tell the crowd and everybody else out there who's listening uh, who you are and what you do.
So my name is Adam Whitehead. I am a I am the least famous CMA recording artist that there is. I'm probably one of the newest too. Um, the past 5 or 6 years, I've been doing live music, been recording, chasing a couple songs of radio. Um, we had my first record, which it was technically an EP with 6 songs released in 2021 called "The Way Whitley Done It." It had the song "Single Mom" on it. Um, yeah, it was a good record to push. We pushed it for a couple of years, played every song at every show, and then last year I kind of decided to start taking a step away from the live music, and I found this song that I just had to have. Um, it's called "When Did I Get Old," and it's a country song, but it's not a country song. That was the first and only song that I released under blues, and that made it fortunately to number 1 on the iTunes and Apple Music and Amazon charts, and it did pretty well. Um, it's a song talking about you know when did I get old, and I turned 40 this past year, and that was a big year for me. Um, we've been pushing that quite a bit. I decided to take some time off of live music, and we're opening up a couple different food trucks, food trailers, that is, in southern Iowa, and looking to expand that out. Hopefully, after they get to be kind of self sufficient, hopefully open up a few more. And that's kind of what we've been doing. Hobbies are collecting weird art, um, and yeah, that's truly it. That's what we've been doing. Pretty plain Jane. So I like that. I do see that. I like that.
That's my newest painting. If you see really
Big.
closely in here, it's like I did it like denim and all of
Yep.
that. I was tinkering.
Love
So
it.
My one thing I would love to see. I used to work at a company called Vermeer, which is a farming company here in Pella, and there's different sites across the world and everything else. But most of the stuff is actually made here
I
in
got
Pella.
other work back there too that I've done.
One of the things that
That's awesome.
I've always wanted is for lunchtime, because there's no real lunch available there. There's a little kind of a store in each whatever. One thing I wanted was like a food truck outside that every day of the week, because there's like 6 plants, or like 5 plants or whatever. There every day of the week it would move to a different plant.
You know,
That way you could get people to uh, get the ability to go out there and have something fresh and good and whatever, and just do that. So for anybody out there, Southern Iowa, I would recommend setting up ideas with like Pelicorp and
yeah,
Vermeer and stuff like that, and just tell them like, hey, do you have a certain day of the week that you want that ability to happen? Pelicorp, the business office on Fridays, is probably the best option to do so. Right across the street from Jimmy John's, and Jimmy John's gets hella business from them. But
Yep.
having like a one day of the week type thing in Pella, I think would be the absolute bee's knees of stuff goes. That was meant to pop Bubbles, but I don't think Bubbles is paying attention.
yeah. I would just say it's weird that he mentioned that because I don't talk about it much. We're actually in the process of setting up 2 food trucks here. We're doing one's going to be like it's going to be like we're going to call it rock and roll hot dogs. It's going to be like specialty type hot dogs and sausages, and then the other one we're going to do Filipino food. Um, so I know a lot of people haven't had Filipino food, but trust me, um, it is like one of the best foods you will ever eat. Heavy on pork and seafood, and it's super cheap to make, and it is so freaking good. Like you will eat it continuously once you try it. So,
The the entire food truck stuff going on. I don't know if it's a new fad or not, but like in Iowa, it's growing a lot.
yeah,
Like you see food trucks everywhere, and I know out on the West Coast, I know that Bubbles kind of comes from a bigger location, so she probably sees food trucks all the time. But I come from a town of like 12,000 people. Oskaloosa is probably like 25. Atum was 40. So getting like a food truck location type thing would be, I think, especially if you do it outside of a business where they're just hungry, hardworking American type people that would just absolutely be godsmacked for stuff like that once a week, and just have a set schedule that you know that you're gonna. Hey, it's like you can look forward to this once a week because you know that they're gonna be there and stuff like that. Vermeer used to have a place called Pizza Ranch come in and do it, and by the time the pizza got there and sat there for like an hour, it sucked.
and
But
it's doing a truck that is good but different. Like
yeah,
you can oversaturate. Like everybody wants to do street tacos. Everybody wants to do Mexican food. Everybody wants to do this. If you get a good niche where you're one of the only ones doing it, and that's why we're doing the Filipino one. Is I've done the research. Within 100 miles of me, there are no Filipino restaurants, no Filipino food trucks. Um, and we have a large Filipino population around here, University of Michigan, MSU, all of that. It's just, it's not something that, Filipinos cook at home. They don't like go out to eat that much other than like Jollibee. So, and Americans, they're not accustomed to it. But once they see that, like lechon is basically just Filipino barbecue. Um, but once they taste it, it's going to be like, oh shit, like wait, hold up, adobo, pancit, that kind of shit. It's filling, it's cheap, and you know they'll go crazy for it. Like I've yet to meet anyone that I introduced to Filipino food that hasn't just been like, where the hell has this been my whole life? Like,
one one of the cool things about food trucks too is that food trucks have the ability to, um, they since it's not pre-manufactured type stuff, you can you can invigorate something that has been done for eons. For instance, the hot dog. The hot dog is
yeah,
something that's been done over and over and over again, but you can add a different element to it
yep,
that somebody just may happen to come up and ask, like, "Hey, could you do this?" And you're like, "You know what? I've never thought about that."
yeah,
And then 2 weeks later, it's a mainstay on your menu because you tried it and you're like, "You know what? This might be. It's cheap. It's easy. It's something
yeah,
that's ready to go." And 2 years 2 years after that, something that you made from a customer that just happened to have a whim on something
yeah,
is the number one food in the country.
yeah. So we're gonna have
So
like a pizza one, we're gonna have a taco one, a Reuben one, a Hawaiian one that just have like the flavors of it, like the taco one is going to have like the taco meat on top of the hot dog with the cheese, the black olives, sour cream, and the Doritos sprinkled across the top.
Sounds good as hell.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's simple, but it's just outside of the box of your regular, chili dog or sauerkraut dog or whatever. And then the Hawaiian one is going to have like, the sort of the cream cheese, the pineapple, um, and whatnot. So it's
so
just
if you
Spam.
make a Reuben
Hawaiians love
one,
spam.
yeah.
if you make a Reuben one, would that make a hot dog a sandwich?
I mean, a hot dog is a sandwich, dude. I
No,
mean,
it's not.
No, it is not.
A hot dog is not
it
a
has got
sandwich
bread,
until you
meat,
until
and
you
cheese. It is a sandwich.
until you
Period.
break that seam on the bottom of the hot dog bun. It is not a sandwich. It is
Look,
that's the taco.
I will die on this hill. A sandwich is bread, meat, and cheese. Okay.
All right. Hey, welcome back for round two. It looks like Bubbles starts us off on this one. Bubbles, is it Dolly Parton's 9 to 5 or Kenny Rogers' The Gambler?
You know what? We're gonna go with. I'm sticking with Dolly.
Dolly gets a vote. Kevin
I'm sticking with the gambler.
goes back and forth. CJ,
I don't want summer's night. Just a gambler, man.
Adam,
Gambler. Gambler.
another one and the win. I'm gonna go with Gambler as well. That was a quick vote. 4-1 to
Thank
the
God it
next.
wasn't a sweep.
We love you, Dolly,
As
but
he's wearing a Dolly shirt.
Yeah, traitor, traitor.
and,
CJ,
and,
It was a gift.
say, and in good conscience, I think even Dolly would vote for Kenny personally. Like,
I mean, I do find it funny. It ended up being Dolly versus Kenny on this one too
I was
because
gonna say,
of their
Kenny was
background.
one of Dolly's favorite people. So
Yeah. Islands in the stream. Um,
And the fact that one owned Kennywood and one owned Dollywood in the same town was sort of hilarious too.
CJ,
Yes.
is it Toby Keith should have been a cowboy or Waylon Jennings, Good Old Boys?
Oh man. Um, Toby was amazing, man, but you got to go with one of the only TV shows I ever, other than BJ and the Bear, one of the only TV shows that I made sure that I was home to see was Dukes of Hazard. Um, so yeah, got to go with Waylon.
By the way, I was supposed to start with Kevin on that one. I do apologize, Kevin.
Sorry.
Is it? Is it should have been? No, that was my bad. I wrote down. I crossed. I put an X on Kevin's name, and I just skipped him. Kevin, is it?
Dang, that's
Is it
cold.
good? Is it good? Well, he got it. He got a chance to think about it some more. Is it Good Old Boys or should have been a cowboy?
You seem to forget me a lot when I'm on this show.
It's
Uh,
your black background, dude. You just kind of fade between the black shirt, dark beard, and darker background. The only thing you can see is your face, and you kind of look like a thumb at times.
oh,
And
well,
in the
okay.
little like your face is like that much in my screen, and that is it. So
I'm just a good old boy.
gets a vote. Adam, is it Good Old Boys or should have been a cowboy?
Uh, Good old boy.
Gets a vote. I'm gonna go with Toby Keith on this one. Should have been a cowboy, taking Bubbles' ability to ruin a sweep on this one. Bubbles, is it Good Old Boys or should have been a cowboy?
Well, ruining the sweep was not the intention on this one, Freddie. So you can just shove it, okay? Think so low of me. But I
Just
was
like
gonna go with should have been a cowboy.
like there, over there. That's where you can fuck off.
Like way over there. Like just calm down.
Way off.
You just need to
Just a
time
bit
out.
outside. Good Old Boys moves on 3-2 to the next round. CJ now supposed to go first. Um, just to switch that up, just to fix my fuck up. Kevin, is it Devil Went Down to Georgia or Man, I Feel Like a Woman?
Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Gets a vote. Now, CJ.
Yes. The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Adam.
Devil went down to Georgia.
Gets another one. I appreciate the accent, by the way. I'm going to go there as well.
Got you on that one.
Bubbles?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yep. I already voted.
Man, I feel like a woman.
4-1, ruining that sweep. Adam, is it She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy or Deeper Than the Holler?
Deeper than the holler. All the way.
Gets a vote. I'm going to go that way as well. I don't think She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy should have made it this far. Bubbles, Deeper Than the Holler, She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy.
You know what? I might go with She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy. Why? Because I think of the days of when I have my own farm and I can ride my own tractor.
They make cowboys for that.
I ride them too.
Give a
That's what I'm
horse,
saying.
Sorry.
And for anybody out there wondering what I meant by that, I'm not saying that the cowboys ride the tractor. I'm saying that the cowgirls ride the cowboys. There you go. In case it wasn't clear.
I don't know if I want to be a cowgirl. I'm totally down with being a farmer.
I mean, if you have cows, would that just make you a cowgirl, period? With or without the clothes? You had the hat earlier.
Does that make you a pig girl? Like, no. A horse girl? Like, that sounds dirty. Like, in a way, like, you don't want it to.
I guess it depends on what kind of farm you have. You could have an emu farm, then you'd be an emu girl.
that number 1 or 2? I think I missed the first one earlier.
That's the first one. That's the
Was it?
first one. I promise.
Kevin.
That's a good one, Kevin. I love it. You know what? I think I'm gonna get some emus now. Oh,
I think Deeper Than the Holler is a great song, but Tractor Sexy is just fun. So I'm gonna go with She Thinks My Tractor Sexy.
It is a tie breaking decision coming down to CJ. CJ, you want to know who's facing? Sorry, we can't do that. Um,
Nope.
is it She Thinks My Tractor Sexy or Deeper Than the Holler?
Oh, it's Randy.
So 3-2 to the next round. I start this one off. Sorry, Bubbles snort got me kind of messed up on that one. What's really funny because she was talking about the entire pig girl type thing, and then she ends up snorting. Like, you can't write this stuff.
you can't.
It's either going to be Carrie Underwood's Before He Cheats or George Strait's Amarillo by Morning.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go Before He Cheats on this one. In a strategic vote. I keep turning my damn heater off. In a strategic vote, Bubbles Before He Cheats or Amarillo by Morning.
Mm, I don't know how strategic. Like, I want to sit here. Like, do I want to fuck with Freddie? He's like, it's strategic. Like, but like sometimes with his strategic ones, they're a pretty good matchup, and I really dig it. You know what, Freddie? I'll help you see your vision today. We're gonna go Before He Cheats.
Get the vote. I appreciate that. Kevin Before He Cheats, Amarillo by Morning.
Before He Cheats.
Get the vote and the win. CJ.
Amarillo by Morning.
And Adam.
Or he cheats.
4-1. Wow. I did not see that one going that way.
To the side of his pretty lips.
4-1 Before He Cheats moves on to the next round, faces another 4-1 in the next round. Bubbles starts us off. Bubbles, is it Stop Loving Her Today by George Jones or Crazy by Patsy Cline?
Man, I'm gonna go with Crazy.
You know, I find it funny that these votes get harder and harder as they go on, but I get less and less fuck you Freddy's as the show goes along.
Well,
That's
because we've
because we
done this
can't
to
say fuck you,
ourselves at
Freddie.
this point.
It was our fault, and we know it. We did this to ourselves.
I know. I just wanted to make sure that you guys realized that. Kevin, Crazy, Stop Loving Her Today.
Crazy.
Gets another one. CJ.
He says it's crazy and he stopped loving her today.
Yep. Jones
Yeah,
and Klein.
George Strait.
George Jones, but
Or yeah, I'm sorry. God, I can't believe that came out of my mouth. Yeah, George Jones.
well, it's better than it's better coming out of your mouth than coming in your mouth. So
I deserve that.
I'd like to disagree.
I walked into that one.
Adam, Stop Loving Her Today or Crazy,
He stopped loving her today.
which means it is a tie breaking decision on this one. Do you guys want to know collectively who's facing in the next round? Because I have the board in front of me, so I always know.
Bubbles always wants the tea.
I do
Nobody
not
else
want
seems,
the tea.
nobody else seems to want to
Said you
know.
wanted the D.
Well, it's not affecting my decision realistically, but I also don't care. So I'm going to. I'm. The audience ended up actually doing this one as well later on, and in round two, when they faced off against each other, ended up going a vote of 7-6, which means it was a pretty close decision on their end too, and they ended up going with "Stop Loving Her Today." So I'm going to go with that one as well to help out the audience. Uh, 3-2 face another 3-2 in the next round. Uh, Kevin, Family Tradition by Hank Williams Jr. or Nothing at All by Alison Krauss.
Oh, mother.
Family Tradition.
Speaking of mother, CJ,
Yeah, this is a fuck you, Freddie one. Um, damn.
you still have Pass the Parcel, by the way.
What's the blow your load thing again?
Blowing your load means you go last
No,
in the turn.
that doesn't help any. Um, actually, you know what? I'm going to blow my load. I'm going to go last and see how it ends up.
By the way, for everybody out there, this is the first time that CJ, out in like
Yeah.
20 times that he's been on this show,
Yeah.
has ever
Oh!
blown his load on this show, which means CJ will be going last. Adam, Family Tradition or Nothing at All?
When you say nothing at all,
So I'm gonna
Steve.
go. I'm a party guy. I do love the song "Nothing at All," all that, but Family Tradition, especially considering who this sang by, gets my vote all the way through. Bubbles, Family Tradition or Nothing at All
Family Tradition.
gets the vote. CJ finishes up. Family Tradition or Nothing at All.
It's a tiebreaker, isn't it?
I'm not letting you know that. That's why you pay attention.
I know he said that, and you said that. Um, I'm gonna go Alison Krauss. I'm gonna go. She said nothing at all.
In a vote of 3-2, moving on, Family Tradition moves on to the next round. Last up in round 2, CJ starts us off. Is it Fancy by Reba McEntire or Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks?
Friends in low places. Even got to
Gets a
think
vote.
about it.
Gets a vote. Adam
Friends in low places.
gets another one. I'm going to keep this train going, and I'm going to go with Friends in Low Places as well. Bubbles.
Oh man, you know what, Franny? I want to vote Friends in Low Places, but I also think that Reba deserves a vote as well. I don't think that she should go out just murdered like that. So I'm going to go ahead and give my vote to Reba.
Uh, by the way, Friends in Low Places was the last option for a pearl necklace. And with that vote for Fancy, Friends in Low Places is no longer an option for a pearl necklace. If Fancy gets that vote, finishing up, CJ, or sorry,
Motherfucker.
Kevin. I'm mad that Friends in Low Places, like you guys are doing this shit on purpose. So, and I'm looking at the board, and it's people. There's a lot of X's, and none of them are in Texas right now. Kevin,
Yes.
Fancy, Friends in Low Places.
So I will go with the chat and go with Fancy.
It never showed me that there was a chat on there, so I appreciate that. 3-2, Fancy Friends moves on to the next round. We'll be right back right after this break. Kevin,
Hi, Harley.
Kevin, what you been up to?
Oh man, other than being here on Bracket Bastards and Central Booking, you can find me on the Mod Squad network where we have a movie show, a horror show, a gamer show, a conversation show, and we go live every Saturday night with a giveaway. We also do a lot of trailer reactions over there. Other than that, you can find me on Back to the Retro Review. That is my personal channel where I review movies from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. I also do budget podcasting, gear reviews, and have a budget podcasting podcast that goes live on YouTube every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Central Time.
And Bubbles.
Me personally, I don't really have too much going on. However, um, my sister and her partner are in a band as well. They are with Don't Call Me Lady, which they have just recently released an album within the last month. So definitely go take a listen to that on anywhere you know, get your orgasms from, or your orgasms, my bad.
I mean, either way.
I mean, either way. But they are absolutely fantastic. So 10 out of 10, uh, the senator recommends.
And I, of course, I'm your host, Freddie Fisher. I not only host this show, but um, Bracket Bastard, you know what this show is. Central Booking, the one that Kevin just happened to mention, is a show where it's a pro wrestling podcast where we have a different topic every episode we do. We just ended up fantasy creating our own company, so we did a draft just between Kevin and I. Ended up doing a draft of 15 men, 15 women, 5 tag teams, and 3 legacies, and created a roster off that. It was a shit ton of fun. It's not recent news, but we do end up talking about stuff like that. After that, we have the recasting call where we take a movie made before 2000 and recast it with current people. The next episode coming out May 1st is going to be the Spaceballs episode. So make sure to check that one out, especially since they made me do Star Wars the month before that. Bastards Backstage, as always, is a one-on-one interview program. 20 questions, but millions of answers. And last but not least is, of course, the new show that we'll be doing this summer called Versus, which we are recording for now. And if you want to be on that, please let me know, because it is a show where it's a Sweet 16 tournament where you not only decide the competitors, but you also decide the winner and the topic. So all creativity pretty much determines on you, and that is what we are doing over on the ABC network. Uh, Catching up, um, myself, I have load. Bubbles, you have steal a vote and load. Kevin, you have steal a vote and load. CJ, you have. I'm on echo somewhere again. Thank you. Uh, you have passed a parcel, or yeah, you have passed a parcel and steal a vote. And Adam, you have steal a vote and load. Passed a parcel for CJ and steal a vote for everybody else besides me is good for the next 4 matchups, and that is it. Um, if you don't use it in the next 4 matches, you just can't use it beyond that point. That's where it stops, and that is my only warning as far as that goes. Welcome back for round 3 and beyond. It looks like Adam starts us off on this one, I believe. Yeah, I am correct on that one. Adam, is it Kenny Rogers, the gambler, or Carrie Underwood before he cheats?
Gambler. Got to go with the gambler.
I'm still surprised that you have your Jimmy John's hat like that.
You know, I am too.
I don't think I have my Jimmy John's.
There's a reason I'm keeping it. So
That's where. By the way, for everybody out there, that's where Adam and I met many years ago. Is we
yep.
used to work at the same Jimmy John's here in town. The same Jimmy John's I was talking about before is at that. So we've been friends for many years, and uh, I appreciate him. I appreciate music. I appreciate his sense on the music world, especially the country music world, to the reason why he's here today.
Thank you, man.
Gambler gets a vote off of that one from Adam. I'm going to go with Gambler as well. This is the reason why I said thinking strategically, because between the Gambler and before he cheats, I thought the Gambler had a much better chance of beating Before He Cheats more than Amarillo by Morning, which Amarillo by Morning ended up in the finals for the audience. So we actually kicked out the second place person um, last round. Gambler gets my vote. Bubbles, is it Gambler or Before He Cheats?
Listen, me myself, I absolutely love good feminine rage. So I'm absolutely going with Before He Cheats.
By the way, Harley, who was a previous time guest on the show, is also going Before He Cheats on this one. Uh,
Freddie, I keep thinking you're smoking and it's just a pen.
I, I I keep scratching my beard. Uh, she put a comment in the thing. I'm gonna read this out real quick for her because Harley is the type of person, and we all love Harley here. So she gets my respect. Guys, putting this out there, husband found out he had breast cancer. So if you notice anything out of the normal, get checked even as a guy. Um, one, Harley, we're thinking about you. Two, that a complete side note from the show, but that is really good advice, even as a guy. Much like we were talking about the entire mental health thing as a guy in the past, not something we talked about. Breast cancer as a guy, it's not just one thing. Um,
I wasn't aware I
guys,
was married.
guys, check your shit. Girls, check your shit too, but guys especially. We're in the words of Red Green. Um, I'm pulling for you. We're all in this together, type thing. So there's that. So thank you, Harley, for that one. Before He Cheats gets a
Hold
vote
on, guys. I'll be back.
from Bubbles. Kevin, Gambler, Before He Cheats
It will be the gambler.
gets a vote, and the win off of that one, CJ.
Mr. Kenny Rogers.
4-1 to the next round. I start this one off. It's either going to be a really ridiculously stupid question, which means I am going to be pushing a certain button off of this one. And blowing my load. Devil Went Down to Georgia, Shirley Daniels, or Family Tradition by Hank Williams Jr. So I'm blowing my load off of that one. Bubbles is not here currently, which means it goes to the past a parcel vote, or not past a parcel. She already blew her. You already did that, but it's still going to go to the audience no matter what as a fallback. And uh, they ended up not facing each other in that particular round. So it ended up being 6-22. So Family Tradition ends up getting that particular vote. Kevin, Family Tradition or Devil Went Down to Georgia?
It's got for me. It's got to be Devil Went Down to Georgia because he's looking to make a deal.
Uh, I consider that cheating. By the way, the entire if you have an entire band behind you, that's fucking cheating. I'm just saying. And he still lost. Like how do you still lose off of bullshit like that?
I think the devil played better than Johnny. If I'm being
I think he
completely
did too,
honest,
but I also think he cheated. But Johnny had the entire crowd behind him too, so it was like a home field advantage type thing. Harley's gonna go with Hank on this one. Family Devil Went Down to Georgia on that one gets a vote from Kevin. CJ, is it Devil Went Down to Georgia or Family Tradition?
Um, I'm gonna be a dick and return the favor to you and steal your vote and say Devil Went Down to Georgia.
That's all right with me. I honestly had no clue what I wanted to go on this one for, so I'm cool with that. Adam, finish us up.
Let's
Family
go devil.
Tradition or Devil
Let's
Went
go
Down to
devil one
Georgia?
down to Georgia. Yeah, I didn't vote that way in the beginning, but against those two for some reason. Yeah. It's a better song.
So the only one to vote for Family Tradition ended up being the audience on this one. 4-1. Devil Went Down to Georgia moves on. Next up, Kevin starts us off. Kevin, is it Waylon Jennings' Good Old Boys or George Jones' Stop Loving Her Today?
I'm gonna steal Bubbles' vote and just say "Good Old Boys."
Gets 2 votes off of that one. We'll get to Bubbles when she gets back. CJ, Good Old Boys, Stop Loving Her Today.
Stop loving her today.
And Adam,
Stop loving her today.
which means that it's a tie-breaking decision coming down to me. I can't even think strategically on this one because I think either one of them has a really good chance of beating the one that I want to move on. So, if both of these were split votes last round, um, okay. Let's see how the audience says between that. Good Old Boys ended up not making it to round 3, so I can't even use that. The final votes between them was actually 24 to 14. So I'm going to end up going with the audience on this one totally. I'm going to go with Stop Loving Her Today. In a 3-2 vote. Moves on to the next round. Last opportunity for Bubbles or Adam to steal a vote or CJ to pass the parcel. And CJ starts us off. Is it Deeper Than the Holler by Randy Travis or Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks?
Randy Travis.
Gets a vote, which means his pass the parcel is no longer valid. Adam
Randy Travis all the way on that one.
gets another one. Did not steal a vote, so his steal a vote is off the board. I'm gonna go with Friends in Low Places on this one just to keep it interesting. Bubbles, who is still not back, means it ends up going to the audience between Deeper Than the Holler and Friends in Low Places in a vote of 15 to 61. Friends in Low Places gets that vote. It is a tie-breaking decision coming down to Kevin. Kevin, do you want to know who is facing in the in the semifinals, which would also release the entire Final Four?
No, we're gonna get Randy Travis and his 5 head out of here.
So you're going with
I'm going Friends in Low Places.
okay. With the entire come around victory on that one, Friends in Low Places, 3-2, moves on to the next round. Bubbles steal a vote. It's off the board as well, which means Bubbles, Kevin, and Adam all have loads to blow, and that is it. I do apologize, Harley. I didn't get you in, but Harley's going to go with Randy Travis on here. Quarterfinals. CJ starts us off. CJ, I'm going to give you 4 options. You choose one of them, and that is what we will start off with. Okay. So Bubbles is going to be out for a bit. She had a walk in. All right. CJ, The Gambler, Friends in Low Places, Stopped Loving Her Today, or Devil Went Down to Georgia.
No, Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Okay, so starting us off, it is either Devil Went Down to Georgia by Charlie Daniels or Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks.
Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Get to vote. Adam.
Friends in Low Places on that one.
Back and forth we go. I'm gonna go Devil Went Down to Georgia on here. Again, she's not here, so between with the audience vote 61 to 6. Friends in Little Places gets that vote. Kevin, it is a tie-breaking decision. Who's moving on to the finals? Devil Went Down to Georgia or Friends in Low Places?
I'll be nice and go with the audience on this one. The comments.
Friends.
Yeah.
Not being a bastard today, I see.
Well, I would have went with that way anyway. I'm just going with the comments because they put it in there too.
I keep forgetting to check those. Friends moves on 3-2 to the finals. Next up, Adam starts us off. Adam, is it The Gambler by Kenny Rogers or George Jones, Stopped Loving Her Today?
He stopped loving her today.
Gets a vote. I'm going to go with The Gambler on this one. It is a song that every time it's on, I stop what I'm doing. I'm listening to it because it's a damn good song. Gets my vote. Bubbles is actually completely off the screen now. Nope. But she's offline for some reason. Okay, that was weird. Bubbles is still trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Is going for that one. So I'm going to give her vote to the audience that we have on the screen right now. Because it ended up being that The Gambler and Stop Loving Her Today had the same amount of votes as far as the audience goes on Facebook. So Harley going for Stop Loving Her Today is going to be my tiebreaker. So thank you, Harley, for taking care of that. It gets a vote. Kevin, Gambler, Stop Loving Her Today.
The Gambler.
Tie-breaking decision coming down to CJ. CJ, facing Friends in Low Places in the finals. Is it The Gambler or Stop Loving Her Today?
Oh, it pains me to do this. I love Kenny, mad respect to him, but it's got to be Stop Loving Her Today.
Gambler moves on to the third possibility of third place on this one. Stop Loving Her Today moves on to the finals. So I start third place off. Devil Went Down to Georgia or The Gambler, two songs that I consider truly iconic, and two songs that I really do love. I can't do anything else as far as lifelines go. I already blew my load a while ago. I would go with Harley, but she's not commenting right now, so I'm gonna go with Devil Went Down to Georgia on this one. Hopefully she agrees. Bubbles on this one between Devil Went Down to Georgia and Gambler. 24-6. Gambler gets a vote off of that one. Kevin, Devil Went Down to Georgia, Gambler.
So in my eyes, these are a tie. Like
Yep.
I love both of these. I can't pick one, but if you're forcing me to, I will go with the Chat and Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Chat being Harley, by the way, is going to be going with Devil Went Down to Georgia on this one. CJ, Devil, Gambler.
Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Gets the win. Adam, finish us up.
No, I can't. Yeah, I guess I'll go Devil Went Down to Georgia.
I'm the lone vote for Gambler on that one. Damn it. Devil gets third place on that one. Finals. Bubble starts us off. Is not back yet. She must have had something really bad happen as far as her goes. So, audience, it is either Stop Loving Her Today or Friends in Low Places with a vote of 24-61. Friends in Low Places gets that vote. Kevin, Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks or Stop Loving Her Today by George Jones.
It's Friends in Low Places.
Gets another one. CJ.
I'm going the opposite way. Stop Loving Her Today.
Gets a vote. Adam.
He stopped loving her today.
which means it is a tie-breaking decision coming down to me. And I love this song "Friends in Little Places." I really do. Thank you, Harley, for commenting. Um, it's a party song among party songs. So you have two different sides of country music here. You have the uh, bar crowd, the want to go out and have fun and sing to your top of your lungs and everything else. But you also have the storytelling aspect that country music is known for. With he stopped loving her today. I I'm gonna I'm gonna take Kevin's sentiment on the entire Devil Went Down to Georgia and Gambler on this one. I think they're tied for not only iconicness, but as far as degree of how good the songs are. And they come from two different complete uh
Spectrums, yeah.
not even spectrums, but like generations. But I think stop loving one of the things that music is meant to do is create emotions. I don't care what genre you have, music is meant to create and feed emotions. And I think he stopped loving her today, and I think Garth Brooks would agree to this one as well. I think He Stopped Loving Her Today by George Jones creates such an emotion in the listener that it can't be topped, even by the great Garth Brooks. So, Harley, thank you for helping me on this one because she is also going to be going for Stop Loving Her Today. And I'm going to go with that. George Jones, Stop Loving Her Today ends up winning the iconic country tournament. Again, we will be doing this again, so please, if you're mad about the winner on that one, just be mad because you're gonna. If you're mad about the winner on this one, come back to the next time we do it and try to make these decisions as well because it's difficult at times. Uh, Stop Loving Her Today gets first. Friends in second. Devil Went Down to Georgia gets third, and rounding out the podium is the Gambler by Kenny Rogers. That is our show this week. You can find Kevin at.
Oh, you can
Oh,
find
you
me
can
in the
find me in
mod.
the mod.
You can find
You
me in
can
the
find me
Mod
in the Mod
Squad
Squad
Network
Network
official.
official.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go.
There you go. Try it again.
All right, you can find me in the Mod Squad Network official community on Facebook or the Back to the Retro Review official community on Facebook or on Instagram at Back to the Retro Review, one word.
Yeah. On Adam's side was being all
Echoey.
weird.
Yeah.
You can find CJ at.
Music God CJ playing .rocks or on YouTube under the Music God Reacts or the Music God Reviews, depending on whether you want to see the music reviews and the podcast stuff, or if you want to see me do food reviews of weird, tasty stuff from food trucks and snacks and weird sodas.
And you can find Adam at.
I can't hear anything.
You can't.
Nope.
Nope, he can't hear anything.
Are you frozen?
I will.
Not frozen. I'm just.
I will make sure to get Adam's notes and the uh, as far as when we release this episode into the thing as well, so you can go ahead and look him up. But it is his name is Adam Whitehead. Very, very good country music. Go ahead and check him out. Bubbles is also on furlough at the moment. She's taking care of business. You can find her at Bubbles the Senator on TikTok. And of course, I am your host, Freddie Fisher. You can find me at that on Facebook. While you are on Facebook, check out Bracket Bastard the audience vote, or you can go ahead and vote along with us every single week. Next episode, by the way, that you'll be voting on, and these are out right now. The round one, you don't have a lot of time left to vote on round one, but we're celebrating moms because Mother's Day is coming up. So don't forget about your mom. It is moms of TV and film. So very, very tough list to go ahead and check that one out. On Twitter, I'm at Fisher777. We're all at Bracket Pod. And on Instagram, as always, you can find me at Can't Lick Me, not one word. I try to leave every single show with a quote. Today's quote is actually, of all things, a song lyric. And it's from Tim McGraw. It says, "Don't take for granted love love this life gives you. Uh, when when you get to where you're going, don't forget to turn back around, and help the next in line. Always stay humble and kind." I really wish I would have wrote that down clearer. I wouldn't have stumbled on it. All right, Adam, can you hear us now?
Can hear? Yes, I can. Now I
Okay,
can.
you can find Adam at
You can find me at, well, Adam Whitehead Music or Adam Whitehead Country on whatever social media you use. Adam Whitehead on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, YouTube, all that good stuff.
and that is our show this week, guys. Have a good one.